Nicholas Prosper, you are 19 years old. On the 24th of February 2025, you pleaded guilty to purchasing a firearm without a firearm certificate on the 12th of September 2024. The murders of your mother, Juliana Falcon, your sister, Giselle Prosper, aged 13, and your brother, Kyle Prosper, aged 16, early the following day, possession of a firearm with intent to endanger life, and possession of a bladed article.
Okay, so you do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention, when questioned, something later on in court. Anything you do say may be given as evidence. What road are we on? Birmingham Road. 426, priority. Birmingham Road, I think we've got the offender.
It's not murder.
Yes, we've got a male here, he's presented himself to us. Can we just get another unit down here, please?
Nicholas, we've explained what you've been arrested on suspicion of, okay, and what you said after. We'd like you to tell us about any involvement that you have had with the deaths of Juliana Falcon, Kyle Prosper and Giselle Prosper. We'd like to tell you about any involvement that you've had with them at all in their murders.
No comments.
Did you kill them?
No comments.
Obviously, it's a fact that, you know, they're dead now. Okay, so that's why we're here talking about it. Are you aware of that?
No comments.
Because I've never met you before, I'd like to know a bit about your background. I know your name is Nicholas and you're 18, but that's about it, really. Do you want to tell me about your background?
No comments.
About where you live?
No comments.
Tell me about your family?
No comments.
Tell me about any friends you have?
No comments.
Tell me, do you work?
No comments.
Or are you in any kind of education?
No comments.
How do you support yourself financially?
No comments.
Do you get any kind of benefits?
No comments.
Or do your parents give you money?
No comments.
Do you see both of your parents?
No comments.
How do you get about?
No comments.
Have you got a car?
No comments.
Or any kind of scooter?
No comments.
Or a bicycle?
No comments.
Do you get public transport?
No comments.
What phone have you got?
No comments.
Do you have your own phone?
No comments.
Or do you borrow someone else's?
No comments.
Who pays for your phone?
No comments.
Where is your phone?
No comments.
What kind of phone is it?
No comments.
Is it a smartphone?
No comments.
Do you use social media?
No comments.
What platforms do you use on social media if you do?
No comments.
Do you post anything?
No comments.
Or do you just read other people's posts?
No comments.
Have you got any mental health issues?
No comments.
Do you receive any treatment for any mental health issues?
No comments.
Have you been diagnosed with any neurodiversity or mental health issues?
No comments.
Or do you think you've got any mental health issues but they've been undiagnosed?
No comments.
What are your hobbies?
No comments.
What do you do with your spare time?
No comments.
Dinner's talked about any mental health issues or any treatment for any mental health issues. Have you ever, in the last few days, have you ever called anyone with regards to your mental health?
No comment.
Have you ever alerted anyone in the last few days for assistance with any physical health conditions?
No comment.
Nicholas Prosper, you are 19 years old. On the 24th of February 2025, you pleaded guilty to purchasing a firearm without a firearm certificate on the 12th of September 2024. The murders of your mother, Juliana Falcon, your sister, Giselle Prosper, aged 13, and your brother, Kyle Prosper, aged 16, early the following day, possession of a firearm with intent to endanger life, and possession of a bladed article. After arrest, you displayed no signs of agitation or mental distress. You were inappropriately cheerful and engaged the officers in conversation. You asked if the local schools were locked down. You made no comment in interview, but later gave a mental health nurse who was assessing you in custody some further details, including that you had planned for a year to kill 34 people, ending in your own suicide. 30 of them were to be school children aged 4 or 5. Juliana Falcon was hardworking. She cared for her children and tried to persuade you to get help when you were struggling at school. She was an innocent victim of an ungrateful, unfeeling son whose only wish was to be famous through destroying the lives of young children. Carl Prosper was 16 with his whole future ahead. He fought bravely for his life, but there was no contest with his older, armed brother. Giselle was just 13 years old, a smiling girl, no doubt the treasure of her parents and friends. Dr. Koyman observed that since your arrest you appear to be functioning better, and incarceration has not caused you to suffer as most people would, because you have little need for social relationships. You have expressed pride in your crimes and the attention gained from them. Dr. Koyman makes another apposite observation. The rigidity of your thinking due to ASD explains why, when your plans to arrive at the school at about 9 a.m., when the children would be assembled in the early years class were foiled, you did not adapt the plan. You intended to unleash disaster on the community of Luton. Your plans were intelligent, calculating, and selfish. Your ambition was notoriety. You wanted to be known posthumously as the world's most famous school shooter of the 21st century. The lives of your own mother and younger brother and sister were to be collateral damage on the way to fulfill your ambition. I have decided to impose a minimum term. In drawing back from a whole life order, I have already taken into account your age, your guilty pleas, and the fact that you did not carry out any violence after you left your flat, despite having reloaded the shotgun. To account for the aggravating features overall in this case, the minimum term you must serve has to be increased very significantly indeed from the Schedule 21 starting point of 30 years. I remind you that each of the 3 murders you committed would reach the threshold for a 30-year minimum term on its own. The increase I impose is the least possible in all the circumstances. There is no mitigation beyond those matters I have already taken into account. On count 1, the sentence is 3.5 years custody concurrent. On each of counts 2, 3, and 4, I impose concurrent sentences of custody for life with a minimum term calculated from 49 years, from which the time you have already spent on remand must be deducted. Council have calculated this as 188 days. If that is incorrect, the case must be listed so it can be corrected. The sentence on those counts is therefore custody for life with a minimum term of 48 years and 177 years concurrent.
Everyone at Bedfordshire Police is utterly shocked and appalled by the sickening actions of this individual. Over the last 6 months, a team of highly experienced and professional detectives has worked extremely hard to find every piece of information to understand the motivations behind his actions and to ensure that there was no wider ongoing risk to members of the public. What we have uncovered is that he was a lone individual whose plans were fortunately disrupted. I would like to pay tribute to the bravery of his victims, his own mother, Juliana, and siblings Kyle and Giselle, who fought for their lives. The judge said today that their actions had almost certainly saved the lives of many children. I also pay tribute to the neighbour who called the police, the officers who apprehended him, and all of those who have worked tirelessly to secure the compelling evidence which has ensured he was brought to justice. Today, he has been sentenced to a significant term of imprisonment. He must serve 49 years before even being considered for release. I know this will not take away from the sheer horror of this incident and his sickening plans to target primary school children in Luton. I do not underestimate the impact on the staff, parents and carers of pupils at schools across the country, but particularly those associated with St Joseph's School. I want to finish by reminding you all of those who lost their lives on the 13th of September 2024. Juliana Falcon and her children Kyle and Giselle Prosper. It is their names we should remember and pay tribute to for the bravery they showed in those unimaginable final moments. We should not be remembering the person who took their lives.